Car prices have been climbing for years, and although things are finally starting to cool down, this new $10,000 Toyota truck clearly signals the beginning of a completely new chapter. This is great news for everyone, especially since Toyota is known as one of the most dependable automakers in the world, and this truck could be a game changer. We're not making bold claims without reason. There are actually two key factors that make the IMV stand out and explain why it's so practical despite its low price, and every major manufacturer is well aware of this. So make sure you stick around until the end to understand exactly why this truck has the entire industry talking. So what's the big deal, right? A truck priced at just $10,000 naturally raises questions about what it can really do. At first glance it almost seems too good to be true. Right now the most affordable truck available is the Ford Maverick, and even that costs about twice as much, not even counting dealer markups. Even Toyota's own Hilux, which is considered a budget-friendly option outside the United States, comes in at roughly double the price. So, how is this possible? Why would Toyota do this, and what kind of impact will it have on the entire automotive industry? There's no question this move will send shockwaves across the market. But when you really think about it, it actually makes perfect sense. Most people simply can't afford today's so-called modern vehicles that are overpriced due to minor unnecessary features. Toyota understands that appealing to everyday buyers is essential, because if they don't do it, another brand will. Ford proved this with the Maverick, which quickly became a major success. This shift is the direction the entire industry is moving toward. Take the Land Cruiser as an example. It used to be one of the most premium SUVs on the market, but its price has now dropped to around $55,000. Toyota has even introduced a new compact version called the Land Hooper, which is expected to be far more affordable. According to Toyota's CEO, the IMV0 truck is our way of making sure that owning a reliable and durable vehicle is a necessity, not a luxury. Still, this promise sounds almost unrealistic. Toyota is essentially guaranteeing its legendary reliability on what will be its cheapest vehicle. We'll explain how that's even possible in just a moment, but first, the big question remains: will this truck actually be good? Performance-wise, this could be one of the most significant announcements the automotive world has seen in years. In many ways, the IMV0 may be even more practical than larger trucks like the Tacoma or Tundra, mainly because it's built to be modular and customizable. Toyota has also confirmed that the truck has gone through extensive testing to ensure it meets their strict standards. What really stands out, though, is the truck's design, which is unlike anything else on the market. It doesn't resemble traditional pickups like the F-150 or the Maverick, and that's entirely intentional. Toyota isn't trying to target just one specific type of buyer. Instead, they're encouraging owners to use the truck however they want. So, this is the first major reason why the IMV0 is such a disruptive vehicle. For just $10,000, you could turn this truck into a food truck, a mobile cafe, a small off-grid restaurant, or even, a livable space if that's your goal. That flexibility is honestly the truck's biggest strength. The large cargo area is designed to be adapted to your needs, and despite its low price, the truck is still expected to be durable, dependable, and capable. After all, this is Toyota we're talking about here. They're not going to risk their reputation just to offer a cheaper vehicle. Toyota dominates reliability rankings and, well, has the resources necessary to pull something like this off. So how are they doing it? Let's be honest, most of us love trucks. They look great, but modern trucks are packed with unnecessary features, and manufacturers use clever marketing to justify charging more for them. In the end, consumers are the ones paying the price. This has become a serious problem. Combined with the events of 2020, this approach caused vehicle prices to skyrocket worldwide. Now prices are finally starting to come back down. The IMV0 is one clear example of this shift. The real reason Toyota can make this truck work is because manufacturers have been making massive profits on trucks for years. That's exactly why nearly every brand now focuses so heavily on them. This is the second major reason Toyota is likely to succeed. They recognized early on that overpricing vehicles isn't sustainable. Once again, the Land Cruiser tells that story. Toyota stopped selling it in certain markets because demand collapsed year after year. After a few years away, Toyota brought it back at a lower price and repositioned it with a new image to avoid damaging its premium reputation. This strategy isn't unique to Toyota, it's happening across the entire industry. Ford did it with the Maverick, and now Toyota is applying the same logic to the IMV0. However, no vehicle is without its downsides. One of the biggest challenges is efficiency. The IMV0 isn't as fuel efficient as many competitors, and at launch there are no hybrid or electric versions available, although Toyota is reportedly working on them. While its fuel economy isn't terrible, it still doesn't match the Maverick. This could be one of Toyota's toughest hurdles. Fuel costs don't just affect the environment or government regulations, they directly impact your wallet, and, gas prices have been climbing steadily. Still, this may not be a deal breaker. People buying this type of truck aren't looking to show off or have fun. They're buying it to work, build something, or make money. If the truck helps generate income, then spending more on fuel becomes part of the investment. At least, that's the bet Toyota is making. It's a trade-off buyers will have to accept, and for many, it may not be a major issue. But it ultimately depends on you. Would this be a deal breaker in your case? Competition will also be fierce. Some critics believe the IMV0 could struggle because Toyota already has so many successful trucks and SUVs. If the IMV becomes too popular, it could eat into sales of Toyota's own models. However, that concern may be overstated. Someone shopping for a family SUV probably won't suddenly buy a work truck, and buyers who can afford a Tacoma aren't likely to choose a $10,000 truck instead. Even if the IMV0 takes a small portion of Toyota's own sales, it's expected to pull far more customers away from rival brands, which is exactly the goal. In terms of impact, this truck is aimed directly at small businesses, the backbone of the economy, so its influence goes well beyond just the auto industry. This could be one of the most disruptive and practical vehicles we've seen in a long time. Its applications are honestly nearly endless. Take the food truck industry as just one example. In the United States alone, that market is valued at over $1 billion, and globally, it exceeds $4 billion, growing at around 6% each year. Now imagine what could happen when Toyota applies its reliability and engineering expertise to that space. And, that's only one possible use case. This is why the IMV0 has caught everyone's attention, and why other manufacturers are scrambling to respond. To stay competitive in regions where affordability really matters most, Ford is already exploring more budget-friendly vehicles and, investing heavily in technology to reduce production costs. For them, it's adapt or lose sales. The Maverick succeeded for this exact reason, and now the compact truck segment is, heating up again. So, what happens when the IMV0 officially enters the market? Brands like Chevrolet, Ram, and Nissan, known for their mid-size and mid-price trucks, will be forced to rethink their strategies, either by expanding their lineups or finding new ways to cut costs. These companies have loyal customers and long histories of serving different needs, so they'll need to respond carefully. For now, all they can do is watch how the IMV0 performs and quietly develop their own alternatives to position themselves as strong second choices. So what comes next? While low pricing appeals to everyone, buyers in different regions have unique needs that must be considered. The success of the IMV0 won't depend solely on its price. It will also depend on Toyota's ability to tailor the truck to the preferences and requirements of markets around the world. Fortunately, Toyota has decades of experience adapting vehicles for local markets, and that expertise will play a key role in the IMV0's success. That's exactly why the truck was designed to be so customizable from the start, and if customization alone isn't enough, Toyota can further refine the truck to meet regional demands. By taking a careful, well-planned approach, Toyota increases the chances that the IMV0 becomes a truly global success and sparks competition similar to what the Maverick started. Because, honestly, competition is the only way vehicles like this continue to exist. This is exactly what the truck market has been missing for years, and now it's finally happening. But what do you think? Is this truck really worth the hype, or is it just another cash grab? Thanks for watching, and I'll see